Yeah. 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 Alan. What's up, brother? Miguel. I'm going to give it a few minutes here. Let a few people pop in. Nismo. What's up, brother? All right. How'd you guys do today trading? Man, tell me you'd be slapping on those meta calls, son. I know we grabbed, what did we grab overnight? We grabbed Meta and I'm trying to not give all the sauce out here. What was the other one? I cannot think of it. Chris, what up, Gones? Miguel, you got Mara? And right, yeah, if you take a look at Bitcoin, it does look like there's some downside. Unfortunately, I'm getting clapped by that, but it's all good. The crypto portfolio is getting clapped, son. It's not good. It's not good, but it's okay. We can make some profits. I call it a hedge. Alan. Oh, PayPal. Yes, my goodness, man. I never traded. That's why I couldn't think of it. All right. We're going to go ahead and get started. For those who are new, welcome to the stream. For those who are not new, welcome back. What we like to do is host this public live stream every single Thursday through ProfitLink and for yours truly. The whole point of this is so you guys can get, kind of an intro on how we like to do things on a daily basis. So we do this every single night from a private basis, but I like to start doing this on Thursdays to make it more public, just to give you a little bit of taste of what we like to do. Before we get things started here, make sure you go ahead and check out the Instagram page. It's going to be profitlink.co. Go ahead and check that handle out. And then if you want to take your step much further here, you're gonna go ahead and click this link here and check out our WAP page here. Now, this will give you further access into our private Discord channel. Now, there's two options with this. You can join for free, where you get exclusive content as well, even as a free person, okay? We actually give you free daily stock and crypto watch list, completely free. You're not going to get that anywhere else, guys, okay? Every single day, we're going to let you know the top 5 stocks and cryptos we're watching alongside price targets as well. The only difference is you're not going to get signals, right? We're not going to hold your hand through the process, but it gives you a taste. And then if you want to take your step that much further, go ahead and check out the monthly access where you get private access with yours truly and then our fellow analysts as well on a daily basis, where we teach you guys not only the stocks, we don't only show you the stocks that we're watching, but we also teach you how to find them yourself and how to trade yourself. So it's not too bad of a deal there. We'll make sure you walk out of here knowing how to stock trade, okay? So we keep it very simple for you. If you want to take it a step further, let's dive right into it, man. Markets are clapping right now. This is a very interesting position that we're sitting in on the S&P 500. So let's go ahead and break it down real quick. Let me just see who's all in the stream before we get started here. Luis, what's up, brother? Sebastian, Greeny, hey. Did you guys grab those overnights? You see the new ones I put up? We might give out one of the overnights during the stream here to everybody else. We'll see. The thing is they're not in early like us, so, they're lacking already. But we'll go ahead and review that. So diving right into it. So what we like to do, like I said, every day I make sure the team is equipped for the next day ahead and or the week ahead. So what we like to do is just equip the team. And by doing that, we review the markets, okay? We review what's going on with the markets, right? Any news that can come up, any corporate earnings, anything that could surprise us, we're going to make damn sure that we're not surprised. And I'm going to make sure the team is ready to go. And then on top of that, we layered in with the technical analysis of the markets as well. So that way you just have that much more of an edge. And on top of that, you can play the markets yourself if you would like to do that. So part of which is going to be looking at a ticker symbol known as SPY. This is SPY. In essence, this is pretty much the stock market. For those who don't know, there's 3 major components that make up the stock market. You have the S&P 500, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and the NASDAQ 100, okay? The major one you want to watch, though, is going to be the S&P 500. These are the top 500 companies in the United States, okay? This is very important because it represents about 80% of our economy. So being that it carries a lot of weight, and it's the easiest driver when you're trying to gauge the overall direction of the markets, okay? So SPY is where we're going to start on every single live stream. And in this case, this is where we're at. So if you take a look out here, right, first thing you got to do when you're looking at stocks is you want to do a top-down analysis, right? You want to start from the top and bring it on down. What that means is look on the highest time frame possible, right? You want to capture the biggest lens, and then you dial down further. When we're looking at SPY here, we're in a very pivotal position here, right? We're trading near all-time highs. This is huge. So as you can imagine, as we get near this position, the market's gonna need a little bit of steam to break all-time highs. It's gonna need a little bit of oomph, right? A little something. This is a very critical level. It's tough to break, and we really haven't seen it since, beginning of 2022. So almost 2 years ago was the last time, the market was trading around these levels. So this is a very pivotal moment. And as you can imagine, like I said, we're going to struggle to get past that. It's not going to be an easy flight. We're going to need some help from something. Usually that could be a catalyst. It could be an array of things. But if you do look in the interim here, the markets are trading sideways as we speak, and that's because we're getting near this position. One thing I like to do is to keep it simple is just go back to the basics, right? Use support and resistance levels. So I'm going to denote that here with these white lines. So what I'm showing you here is that SPY or the stock market is trading sideways right now. This is not ideal as a trader because there's just inconsistencies, right, in the price, right? There's no fluidity, there's no flow. So it's very tough to make a determination on which side we're going to be heading towards next, just because we're bouncing around inside of these two lines like a pinball, right? Being that is, things are somewhat building up towards the top right now. It does look pretty good prematurely here. And we're going to look at another stock after this that could point towards some other signals here. But as we are currently sitting, the markets are trading sideways. So it does make trading a little bit trickier. We have to be very picky on our selection here. But we're still catching dubs in the group, son. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. We don't sleep, okay? We're still hitting. I don't give a damn what the market's doing. But, where SPY is currently sitting, there's a couple things I'm noticing. One is that you're starting to see volume slowly pick up here, right? We've kind of been sitting in this trough of volume here at the bottom. These are my volume candles. And then today we had a nice strong close. Buyers came in. They came up and love tapped the ceiling of this range we're currently in again. So there is opportunity that we could see a breakthrough here in the near future, but doesn't have to happen. You just have to be very cautious as SPY trades around this level here denoted by this white line. Now, what I have marked above here in the orange, this is all-time highs, right? This is what I just got done talking about. All-time highs is going to be very difficult to break, guys, but it's something we need to watch on our way up. And then if we break past that, it gets very interesting from there, okay? So that, in a nutshell, that's pretty much what we're seeing. If we dial in just a little bit closer here and we magnify the picture, right, you can see the first half of the day here in the markets, there's just a lot of slopping around. The price action was kind of, like I said, it's been tricky. We traded a little bit sideways here, right? Not a whole lot going on. And then in the interim, intraday, we actually had an aggressive pullback. That was catalyst driven, right? That was some news that came out. We had the aggressive pullback, and then we started to settle down here. And then what was interesting was right when we came out of the lunch period here, we started to rally, okay? So that typically gives you implications that there's some footing, right, in the markets here. Just think about it, right? It's very strange that we had such an aggressive pullback in the middle of the day, and then all of a sudden we just start rallying up. So it could be showing us some signs of the algorithms at the end of the day do want this thing to go higher, but it also could be a trap. That's just the name of the game, right? There's no point in sitting here trying to say this is where the markets are going to go next because you don't know. You out of your damn mind, okay? The easiest way to digest information about the stock market is just look at what's in front of you, what's factual. And what's factual is that we are butting up right against that ceiling again. And then we can put on the tinfoil hat if we want and say, hey, we got up there pretty damn quick the second half of the day. Okay, so things are getting a little bit interesting. That's the most we can do with that information. There's one other one you want to look at here. This is known as the NASDAQ 100 equivalent of SPY, right? So SPY, what SPY is to the markets, right? To the S&P 500 is SPY. And to the NASDAQ 100 is QQQ. So QQQ is another one we like to look at. Now, QQQ is a little bit different. It doesn't represent the top 500 companies. Some of those top 500 are in there, but it actually represents the top 100 companies internationally. That's the key word there, internationally. So being that this isn't just, solely domestic, we have to be very careful with this. And because of that, there's, additional volatility as well, because you have, foreign countries baked into this index. So there's outside influences. As well as that, the QQQ is known for being very tech heavy, and the tech industry as a whole, any tech stock that you invest in or trade is known for induced volatility. Okay. So typically, if I'm trying to think of an analogy, like if SPY coughs, right, the QQQ is sneezing, right? It's typically a more magnified move is what you will see, just because it's a little bit more volatile. Okay, so keep that in mind. So if you look at Qs, right, if you look at it very close, they trade very similar to SPY, but you can still see how it's different, right? And speaking of which, if you look at Qs right now in the higher time frame, it's actually broken above all-time highs. So it's actually cruising at all-time highs right now, and it's coming in with strength. You're seeing momentum build up, right? In these volume bars down here, you're seeing staircasing volume, which implies that there's momentum coming into this thing. So this looks phenomenal. Tech looks very bullish today. A lot of the plays we've been playing most of this week have been tech stocks. Okay, you're starting to see tech wake up. You're starting to see the Mag 7 wake up, which is the 7 largest publicly traded companies in the world, right? So that's like your Apples, your Microsofts, your Googles. Those have all been just baking. So things look really good here. And again, that's the most we can do with that information. I'm bullish on tech, but when it comes to the S&P, I'm just a little bit more weary, just because we are still, like, we haven't paved the way yet on the S&P. But just know that these two move in harmony, right? So with the harmonization there, right, with the correlation that they have, being that Qs has broken all-time highs, right? SPY kind of waiting for you next, right? That's kind of the story there. So let's see if SPY can capture it this week. If not, I would think hopefully in the near future. I mean, this is really going to be a make or break range, because if we break out of these two lines here, right, if we break to the downside, it's going to be further downside, plain and simple. That just means we came up near all-time highs and we rejected, and now we're on our way back down. And that's the most we can do. Now I'm going to show you some sauce we called overnight, son. I don't know why y'all be sleeping, right? We missed this one. Psych. The guys that are in you for free missed it, but let me go ahead and roll this for you. So PayPal is one that we played overnight. This was an absolute banger. I easily doubled my money on this play. Let's go back and take a look at it. So PayPal, right? I want to talk about what I saw here, right? And I won't give you all the juice. The private Discord knows what we saw. But essentially PayPal, what was going on with it is that it was pushing up, right, as a whole, and then it pulled back here. So stocks move in waves, right, typically. And when you have a pullback, that's typically showing signs of relief, right? So when you have a pullback, that's when you want to be more interested into the stock, right? You don't want to buy things near the top. You want to buy them on the way down, because you're getting them at the best price possible. You don't want to buy something that's been exploding the last month. You want to buy it after it's been selling off the last month, and then see and try to predict where that bottom is, right? Buy low, sell high. So that was the epitome of this move here. Now, what PayPal ended up doing here on the daily is towards the end of the day, and really most of the day, it had exponential volume come in. I mean, it's trading at the highest volume we've seen in, 2 months? So PayPal had a flurry of volume, right? And we had this overtaking bullish candle here. This tells me this thing said, get the fuck out of here, son. I'm looking to bounce. And that's exactly what it did. It also had a common support level here right against where all that volume showed up. So all these buyers, these flurry buyers came in, right, towards the end of the day. And we took that signal and we ran with it. And look how PayPal produced the next day. This play was an easy 100% profit play. Easy. I mean, I sold immediately at open. I can't imagine if I held this throughout the day, right? So that was a phenomenal play. Good job, team, on that. I'm going to go ahead and take a pause here. Been rambling forever. And I want to see, is there any questions you guys have or anything you want me to analyze before I dive into the next topic? Let's see. Mozilla, what's up, buddy? Angel. Is it Angel or Angel, man? I don't want to butcher that. I didn't. My face went away. You guys should have said something. I'm trying this new camera setup. It's pretty dark too, but I got to fix that. But, you know, I'm trying this new camera setup. I think it's pretty high quality compared to my webcam. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know. Yeah, what'll happen is like this is like a true camera. So what happens is like it thinks I'm trying to like record a video right now, and if I stop recording a video, it just falls asleep. So if it does fall off, just let me know. Okay. That's my bad. PayPal doubled in price. It didn't double in price. No. What doubled in price was the options contract that we bought, but PayPal did not double in price, right? Because we play options in our group. And if you look, right, PayPal did not double, right? You know, if you look really quick here, we bought PayPal around $60 and it only went up $2 today. So it didn't go to $120 and only went up $2. And that's all it takes. That's the power of options. It gives you leverage and it really magnifies your trades. It's a good way to make some quick money pretty fast. But if you catch it right, if you catch it at the right time of the day, and if you catch a nice move that happens very quickly in your favor, you know, options just completely inflate. And so that's where we're able to catch an easy 100% move. I think the cost of these contracts were around, I think they were $60 a contract, and we ended up selling, I think I sold mine for $1.40, so $140 each. So easily doubled the money there. You sold too early? Come on, Kania. Christophe. That's a unique name. What is that? Is that Russian or something? Don't be offended. I was just curious. Yeah, PayPal. Overnights today paid for this month's membership. That's what we do, man. I'm glad it did. Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, honestly, we don't charge that much, guys. I know, obviously, I'm biased. Obviously, you know, I'm running the company. But I'm telling you, this price point, $99, like, I'll beat my own ass if you can't make $99 in 20 days. And I say 20 days because there's 20 trading days on average per month, right? Because the stock market's not open on the weekends. There's 5 business days per week. There's 4 weeks per month. So on average, it's about 20 trading days per month. There's 252 trading days in a year. There's no reason why you can't make those $100 back. Okay. And at the very least, if you don't even have to trade, you can just sit in here and digest the information. You can soak it all up, be a sponge, and you will get you'll get your money's worth. You'll get more than $100 worth of information. If I wanted to, I can go mentor people on the side and make that per hour if I really want to, guys. This is a good opportunity and a good deal. And you also have a whole community backing you up. You have unlimited resources. You have like all these replays you can watch, right? All these streams you can go back and watch. You pretty much have 24-hour live support because we always have a moderator that's awake at some point during the day. And if you have a question, we got you covered. Doubled your money because it was an options call? Yeah. Yeah, doubled our money because it was options, exactly. We didn't buy PayPal straight up. So we typically trade options just because it's more lucrative. You can buy it straight up if you want, but I mean, you're not going to make as much money unless you're trading with extremely heavy capital, right? If I got in this thing at $60 and it went up $2, I don't know, to the average person, $60 is a decent amount of money, right? That's like 3 large pizzas, right? There's that math. So you made $2 off of it. Let's say you bought 10 of these things. That's $600, right? $600. You only made what? $20? So that's where we like to play options, okay? Because you could have doubled it. Darius. Well, Darius, if you're red, why are you red, right? It's probably you. Because I don't know whose stocks you're trading, but our analysts on average, our analysts have a minimum requirement to be in our Discord. They have a minimum requirement. They go through a thorough screening of having an 80% success rate. So that's weird. I'm green. I've been green for, I don't know, 2 years straight. So that's weird. I tell you exactly what I'm trading. That's weird. So something's off, Darius. You need to hold yourself accountable. Your sizing's probably not correct, right? You're probably bag holding. You're probably, there's something wrong there. And so part of trading, guys, is you got to hold yourself accountable. This the same for the week, right? I mean, you gotta really be able to stomach some things, and you can't go and blame other groups because you didn't execute correctly, and we told you exactly the things you need to do to have success consistently. So if you're not following those rules, what do you think is going to happen, right? If you keep smoking cigarettes every day, and I told you to stop smoking cigarettes the last 50 years of your life, and you get lung cancer, why do you think you got lung cancer, right? That's a crazy analogy, but my point is you have to put in the work. But I can't. It is what it is. You shouldn't be red, and if you are red, I don't know why, because you haven't told us. You haven't. Right? Quiet mouths don't get fed. If you're having problems, if you're having struggles, this is part of the community you're paying for. And if you're not bringing that to the group, right? If you're not facing the music, if you're not challenging what's going on, if you're not analyzing the things you're doing wrong, if you're not looking at why you're doing good, why you're doing bad, and you're just blindly buying something, and you're not using the same amount of money every time, and you're not listening to the tips you're getting from every live stream, you're not listening to the tips in the community. I mean, it's, you know what I mean? It's a ticking time bomb, right? You're not going to have success blindly. You're not going to make millions of dollars with no effort, plain and simple. I don't care if it's stock trading. I don't care what you do in life. There's no easy way to make money. So put in the work, start listening, and hold yourself accountable. And if you're doing things wrong, you need to ask. You need to help. You need to sit down with one of us, stop fucking trading, and sit with one of us and say, hey, I'm having trouble trading. Here's what I'm doing. Can you help me out? I haven't seen that come from you one time. And if that's not coming from you, what do you want me to do? I'm sorry, man. I mean, that sounds like a you problem. Over trading, revenge trading can hurt you too. Yeah, I mean, that's what it is, right? Over trading, revenge trading. We talk about all these things as a group, and it is what it is. Trading is not for the weak, but it's no different than any other pursuit you will have in your life. If you want to do well at something, you're going to fail once in a while. And how do you get better, right? You need to develop scars, right? You need to address the situation. A lot of people, they don't do that. Something wrong happens, and they turn around and they blame others, right? Happens all the time, and it happens the most in trading, right? Oh, this trade was red. Fuck, it's your fault. I mean, it's no different than anything you do, right? Gaining muscle, accelerating in your career, making more money at your job, doing all those other things. You can't just turn around and blame everybody because you didn't take any initiative to make the situation better. You just blindly got into something and said, oh, here we go. I'm going to be rich if I just do this forever. I'm sorry. That's just, if you don't hear from me, because you're not hearing it from yourself. So somebody's got to tell you. And hopefully I can be the one that can kind of wake you up. All right, this is going to everybody. This isn't just going to Darius. But this is the nature of the beast. Stock trading is very simple, but it's not easy. Okay, the simple things are doing the simple shit, asking questions, right? Taking initiative, holding yourself accountable, dialing in your risk management, studying, answering, journaling. I guarantee you the people that aren't doing well, they're not doing any of those things. So it's not a coincidence. When I first started, my biggest problem was accepting there was going to be bad days and losing trades. So I'd size too heavy and the bad days would outweigh the good days. Yeah. No, I mean, that's exactly. It's a sizing thing. I know it's a sizing thing. I already know it is. Let me make sure my camera's still on. Yeah, so typically it's a sizing thing when it comes to stock trading. A lot of people, they have a really good trade and then they go bonkers, right? They make $1,000 on a play, and then the next play they're like, "Oh, I got another 1,000 to play with. Fuck it," and then they throw it all on there, and that's a huge problem. Okay, because because it could go wrong, and when it does, like whenever you think it can, it usually does, because whenever you stock trade, it's always going to feel like the market's after you. But if I looked at a series of 10 trades, and I put $100 down on every single trade, and I knew 80% of the time I was going to win, I can't be stressing about those 2 losses, man. I lost $200 out of the $800 that I made, right? It's just some people, they lose they lose 100 the first trade, they lose 100 the second trade, they lose 100 the third trade, and they've lost $300, and they've lost 3 times in a row. And to them, that's like, oh, I don't got it. This ain't it. And they forget to see that trading is a series. You guys always have to remember that trading is a series. You can't go one trade. This is it. One trade. This is it. It's a series of trades. If I were to show you like my trades, I probably lost like, not most of them, but I've lost a good amount, right? I probably lost 40% of my trades, something like that. But I sized the right amount every time. And then what I'd learned to develop over time is that you have to get really good at making your winners big and making your losers small. And that's part of what we show you in the Discord. You really want to extend out your winners as far as you can, right? How do you get those extra 200%, 300% plays? How do I cut my losses sooner so I don't end up backholing this thing and losing 90% of my position versus I could have just lost 30 to 40% of my position? And a lot of people struggle with that. And why do they struggle with it? Right there, baby. Psychology. It's the number one. It's the number one rule of trading. It's the golden rule. I have invested more time in psychology than the charts themselves. I swear. It's so difficult, guys. It's so difficult. But like I said, it's simple. It's simple, but it ain't easy. And we'll show you the methods. I've already done the heartache, right? I've gone through the pain for you. So let me accelerate your path, right? I've spent years doing this. I've lost thousands of dollars, disgusting, uncomfortable amounts of money. I've gone through it all. But I spent years doing it versus you only got to spend maybe a couple days or weeks. So let me just accelerate that path for you. They always say, what does every cliche successful person always say? You got to find a mentor, right? The whole reasoning behind that is because your mentor, they spent 10, 20 years of their life trying to become successful. And then when they hit the end of the road, they realize, hey, I only need to spend like 6 to 12 months on this shit. So I'm going to pass this down to the next person, right? Go to somebody who's already doing it. Go to somebody who's already gotten it done and just go to them for the information instead of doing it all yourself. Because then it's going to be a rocky path. You're going to take the same path that I did, right? This freestyle jungle shit. That's what I highly recommend. All right, I'm out of my bag. When you set a stop loss, can you have it sell for you automatically or you have to manually sell? So I do mental stop losses. I'm not going to advise that. That's just my preference. You can set it up for you to sell automatically. It's very tricky with options because options are just so dynamic. So because you have all your Greeks and all these underlying values that affect the contract's value, and because of that, it's very tricky. You can swag it. That's generally what I do. And there are trading platforms where you can, it'll calculate it for you. So for example, let's say I'm in SPY calls right here and I say, hey, all right, let's go back a little bit. Let's say I'm in SPY calls right here and your options contract, right? It's not going to be this white line here, which is like 474. It's not going to be that value, right? Your options contract's probably like 60 cents or 40 cents or something. So how do you figure out where to set a stop loss? There's trading platforms that can say, hey, sell this SPY contract when it breaks the underlying value. It's called the underlying of $474. So there's platforms that allow that. But me personally, I I do soft stop losses. I do mental stop losses. And the main reason is because the stock market's dynamic. So there's been times where I had a stop loss and then I got eaten up, right? I got faked out or I got wicked, right? Candle came down, broke my stop loss, and then price ended up bouncing. And as I've gotten better at trading, I've been able to recognize some of those possible scenarios. So whenever it gets near a region where I would probably want to get out of the trade, I just let it develop. I give it a little bit more time and I let it develop just to see what the true move can end up being. There's a point where I will know where it's like, okay, this thing's a dud. I got to get out of this shit. But when it does get to that point, I'm giving it time to develop and let it breathe, because a lot of the times where you guys are setting your stop losses, so is everybody else. And guess who knows that? The market makers, the algorithms, these hedge funds, these banks, they know where everybody's setting their stop losses. And that's why a lot of people get faked out. So that's where I just kind of let it get down there and I say, okay, let's see if it's fucking around. And then I don't let it get me. But there will get to a point where it's like, okay, yeah, you will know. Like, you'll be able to tell. If it just keeps going and going, you're just like, all right, that thing is out. Thing is out. Depends on what broker you're using. Yeah, Chris. Robinhood, my stop loss orders never execute. I always have to manually execute. Yeah, and, you know, Robinhood is... Man, I don't want to get my bag right now about Robinhood, man. Got my ass going crazy. Anytime, Chris. I got you, brother. Yeah, you know, I'm like I said, guys, I'm very direct. And Darius, don't think I was attacking you. I'm just very direct. That was me like speaking through you. You know, the stock market is just, it's such a tough game that you can't have this hand-holding nice guy shit. You just can't, man. You just can't. It doesn't work. It reminds me of like playing football. You know, I played football in high school and really any sport, and especially football though. And it gets to a point where you're just like the coaches aren't going to sit there and just pat you on the pad and be like, oh, good job, Sonny. It's okay. You got your ass whooped. That's not how it is, man. It's like, get the fuck in there and get after it. That's how it is with stock trading. You can't, like, you have to hear it from someone harshly, because if you don't hear it from me, you're going to hear it from the market, and you would rather hear it from me. Okay. Plain and simple. You'd rather hear it from me than the market, because the market's going to kick your ass way harder than I will. So all I'm trying to do is look out for you. I'm telling you, I've got my ass beat so many times. It's the last thing I want to see happen to people. And so I got to put it in your ear sometimes. That's the only way it registers, because otherwise I'm just going to be like, oh, it's okay, man. You lost a bunch of money. Try again next time. Fuck that shit. Let's sit down and figure out what happened. Okay, let's face it like a man or a woman, and let's figure out what the fuck happened, because that's the only way we're going to get through this. It's the only way, plain and simple, because the stock market don't give a no fuck, son. It is so relentless. It is so ruthless, okay? Hell yeah, brother. Hear from you and save, make money. Well, I'm glad. My goal is to make you guys money. Like I said, man, if I really wanted to, I could make more money doing this. I really could. And it's not even about that for me. Obviously, you know, it takes a lot of my time and effort to you know, establish a community and put it all together and all that good stuff. But it's not, you know, I truly have a passion for this game. And the biggest thing that stock trading has taught me is that it is no different than any other pursuit that you have in life. Plain and simple. It's no different. It's no different, right? Same shit, different bucket, right? This bucket is in the realm of stock trading. Well, your bucket could be in the realm of real estate or your career or college or whatever it is, sports. You have to, there's going to be challenges, there's going to be roadblocks, and if you're trying to be successful at something, regardless of what the fuck it is, I don't care if you're making biscuits, son, you have to get through the challenges. You have to fail. You have to burn a couple biscuits. You have to tweak the recipe. You have to keep trying. If you still can't get it, start reaching out to other cooks and chefs. Figure it out. Ask them. Get some tips. You know, it's just that relentless pursuit right? Of getting 1% better every day and just consistent refinement. And then at the end of the day, you're going to have a well-rounded biscuit or picture, right? It's no different than anything you want to do in life. It's going to consist of that pursuit regardless. I like the facet of stock trading because I think stock trading is broad enough and not complicated enough to offer opportunities to many people in their lives, right? Everybody's on this blue pill shit and they make $40 an hour. Like, that's real money. Are you kidding me? $40 an hour? That's poverty compared to stock trading. We fucking make a couple $100 in seconds doing this shit, son. What the fuck's $40 an hour? You want to go down in the coal mines and mine for $40 an hour? Get the fuck out of here. I'd rather be on a screen on the beach, pressing some buttons or jet setting and making hundreds, if not thousands of dollars while doing that. That sounds a lot better to me. What do you guys think? So I think that alone should motivate you and encourage you to consistently try to crack the code and figure out this game. S&P and SPY are the same. Yeah, so the S&P 500, can you guys even see my face? So the S&P 500, let me turn this up. Yo. Oh, damn. I'm looking real oily right now, son. I need to fix this lighting situation. That's my bad. Okay, so the S&P 500, they're in essence are the same thing. SPY is the S&P 500. It's just an ETF of the S&P 500. If you don't know what ETFs are, it means exchange traded fund. It's basically, a lot of people trade ETFs. A lot of people invest in ETFs that have retirement plans and stuff like that. Not a lot of people know that, but a lot of people's money is in like ETFs. It's a way for you to get a broad capture of something. So, for example, like for tech, there's a tech ETF, right? For retail, there's a retail ETF, right? And within that ETF, you might have like, Costco in there, Walmart, Target. So these ETFs are kind of the umbrella of something. Well, the S&P 500 has its own ETF, and this is created so that people can trade options through the S&P 500. You can trade the S&P 500 straight up if you want to. Those are called futures. That's a whole nother game of trading. That's what I trade, but we don't need to get into that. For options, the alternative is going to be SPY, which is the ETF that was created as an alternative way to trade the S&P 500. And that's why it's just a great way to be able to monitor the markets. Right? It gives you an alternative. SPY is all you need to watch. Now, whatever you want to trade, regardless of what it is, I highly advise, right? I'm not a financial advisor by any means, but me personally, I like to watch SPY with everything and anything that I'm trading. You best be having SPY up on that other screen, son. I'm telling you, because you will start to see how things move in harmony with this thing. This thing is truly a driver, right? What better way to see if it's going to be a red or green day than look at the market itself? It won't be a coincidence if SPY is super red on the day and like 90% of the stocks you're looking at are red, right? It's the easiest way to do it. So I highly recommend just, getting this as part of your tool belt, right? Equip this and just make sure you're keeping tabs on it at the very least if you don't want to trade it yourself, okay? The only exceptions to that is maybe, I would say penny stocks, just because penny stocks run a little bit more independently. Now, there is one you can watch for penny stocks. That's going to be the Russell 200 or the Russell 2000. But we can talk about that separately if you'd like. I don't know if there's a lot of guys in there that trade penny stocks. So it's definitely my camera settings with this darkness, because this light right here is like, it's like the fucking sun right now, dude. I can't even. It's so bright, man. Sheesh. Yeah, sorry my face was dark, man. What are you saying? What are you trying to say? Is that a race joke? Went too far in the tanning bed? Yeah. I got that permanent tan, son. What you know about that? I get pretty dark. I do. I get like Zimbabwe dark, son. I get Republic of Congo dark in the summertime. I'm telling you. I'm going out to Key West next month. I'm about to come back just Straight burnt like them biscuits we were talking about earlier. Christoph Kania. So that is Polish. That's cool, man. I was going to go to Poland, actually. It was about 2 years ago. And then literally, I think like 4 months before I was going to go, the war popped off. So that trip got canceled. But it'd be cool to go out there and check it out, man. Man, that's unfortunate. I wouldn't mind checking out Ukraine. I honestly wouldn't. Like, if it wasn't a war zone right now. Because I want to check out, like, Chernobyl and shit like that. Pripyat. You know, all that shit. I don't know. Just the nerd in me wants to see the history behind that nuclear disaster and be in the presence of it. I think it's astounding. I think it's fascinating, right? Here's the overnight sauce, guys. I'm going to give this to you one time only on the public live stream as we wrap things up here. So this is what the group is watching tomorrow. We're watching Apple calls, okay? This is what we're watching. I'm not going to tell you what contracts I bought and all that, but here's what we're watching. So Apple looks phenomenal. It had a huge gap up today, okay? This thing is priming. This thing looks great. Off this gap up, we had higher lows form, and then we had some news today, and it popped up. I don't recall what the news was. I do know that they have released an official date for their headset. I think there's something else, though, for the Vision Pro. Yeah, it looks like I think it's Vision Pro related news. I'll look into that a little bit more for you guys. Regardless, I don't give a shit. This thing is up right now. It looks great. The big kicker here, this white line here, is that we had a close above that line. We have a close above a prior candle like that, which means the body closed above it. Which means the body closed above it. That's a phenomenal sign. On top of that, too much wine. We have staircasing volume on this, right? So you can see that it's been pent up. And then we also had a big influx of volume today. Now the kicker here is this gap above. What you know about that gap, though. This gap is great. This is a great sign. Typically, prices like to gravitate towards these things. You just have to be cautious around them because they could also serve as a rejection point. But gaps are great. So we closed into a gap, and we're hopefully going to get some more upside here. I like around 190 as a price target. Obviously, the more the merrier. We got to be a little bit cautious here on a Friday because these are 0 DTEs, which means 0 day to expiration contracts, which means they're highly volatile. They have a high theta, which means the theta decay is out the roof because there's only 1 day left in the week. So we gotta win on this quick, and we gotta be out of it quick. Well, not necessarily, but we need to ideally be up on this guy upon market open. So far, so good. It's holding up. You see the intraday pivot here that we had similar to SPY. So things are holding up. I like the way it looks. I like the stock. Okay. So I'm going to ask around the room real quick, do a round table before we wrap things up. Is there any questions? Is there anything you want me to cover for you guys? Any stocks you're looking at in particular? Oh. Man, I need to get this setup going, dude. I didn't really check it out that well. This shit looks like ass. I mean, I tried to make the background cool for y'all, but it's pretty plain because I just moved into my place. This lighting situation's a joke. We'll get it right. It's all about 1% better every day, constant refinement. Right. This light is killing me. Hold on a sec. Yeah, fuck that light. There we go. There's a bright light for you. So what ETF stands for? Exchange traded funds. So I can write it off in my. I can write it in my notes. Yeah, exchange traded funds. Yep. Hey guys, I want some quick feedback, real quick. A little impromptu here. What did you guys think of the street interview, man? Did you guys like that? I think I'm gonna try to do some more of those. I don't go out that much, but I'm gonna start. if you guys like it. It was fun to do. It's kind of difficult, but It's fun to do. I think you guys will like the next one. There's one more street interview coming, and then I'm going to record some more next weekend. So let me know what you guys' thoughts are on that. For cons, why do some move slower than others? As to P&L, there's a lot of factors. It's the Greeks. To keep it high level, it's going to be the Greeks. That's why. So implied volatility, that's one major reason why your deltas, right, your thetas, those are probably the three major ones I like to watch. And then, of course, volume is important. That's why. So, for example, let's keep it simple here. If I were to buy contracts on a Monday, like Monday night, or just a Monday period, if I were to buy contracts on a Monday that are set to expire that week, which means on Friday, end of day, if price shoots up really hard or shoots down really hard, I won't be down or up as much as if I were playing these later in the week. Like if I bought these same contracts, but on like a Thursday, and price makes the same type of move, it's going to be magnified. And the reason is because of the time of the week it's in, as well as the size of the move. Like if the move is like really aggressive and big, like if there's like a gap or anything like that, or big Marabozu candle or a glizzy, whatever y'all call them, that will also impact it because that impacts the implied volatility. So there's a lot of options, and we really try to keep it simple in the group. I'm not going to lie. I'm not a master at options whatsoever. I'm learning all the time, but I've learned, like, I'm dumb, guys. I just keep it simple. I've learned to keep it simple. Keep it super simple, KISS. And with options, there's no point in sitting here and getting all meticulous and all that. I try to just keep in mind just the high-level things I need to be aware of. If I'm buying things in the beginning of the week, there's less volatility on the P&L typically. And I try to buy things that are closer to at the money as well. Okay, so that's part of that component. If I'm buying things at the end of the week, I tread lightly. Typically at the end of the week, I'm using only profits to trade those. So most of my positions that I open up on a Thursday, I'm usually using profits that I've accumulated, from the rest of the week. So that pretty much it's a risk-free trade, but we still got some risk in there, all right, period. So we can try to extend those profits we made on the week. Microsoft had some clean moves. I've been watching it a lot. Yeah, I know, Alan. Fucking Microsoft God over here, son. Hold on, the mess of my camera. It's being all goofy. Usually I use a webcam, but I wanted to make it nice and crisp for y'all. Yeah, so Microsoft is trading at all-time highs. I mean, it just keeps dancing, right? This is a slow and steady mover. It's not very impulsive. That's kind of what pisses me off about it. It doesn't move, it just drags along, but it seems pretty clear on where it's headed. Tech is strong as a whole. Microsoft had a nice little blimp on volume today. I would have liked to close a little bit higher, right? I would have liked to break all-time highs today, close above all-time highs at least. We teetered with it, I can tell, with the wick, with the high of the day, but this thing just teeters around, man. I would expect, based on the range that we're breaking out of now, it's probably got some legs, but it's got little legs. It's got little legs. Yeah, I mean, it's a clean move, right? Tech's very bullish. A lot of this is AI driven. I don't think tech's going to go away. I've been saying it for a while. I've been saying we cannot ignore NVIDIA, man. I've been saying that since before it was $500, and now it's like, what, $5? I mean, this is the AI driver right here, NVIDIA. This is the AI driver / pretty much tech driver. The only thing that's been lagging in tech has pretty much been Tesla, because Tesla's a fucking turd. Now, the cars are all right. I've had one before. They're not bad. The product's great. I love the CEO. This stock is shit, okay? Plain and simple, unless you're invested in it. I think the street interviews can definitely bring more attention. Cool. Well, that's good. I appreciate that. Yeah, it was fun doing it. It's fun doing it. You know, you never know what you get with these damn street interviews. Sometimes you get the most off the wall shit ever. Like you get like just these goblins out in the streets, man, just fucking hunched over and drunk, just fucking with people. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, I'm glad you liked it. Can you talk about profit taking? Yeah. So, yeah, sure. That's a wide open question. I'll try to do my best. So with profit taking, it just depends. So typically, it's going to depend on how much I'm in this position. Like if I have a bunch of contracts and I have the ability to, trim along the way, that's going to be your best bet. A lot of the time it's tricky for people because they're kind of one-dimensional. They might only buy one contract, which is fine. It's totally fine. I mean, that's how you learn. That's how you start out. And that may be affordable for you. But when you have one contract, you're very constrained. And that's part of the tough part. So the way I like to trade is that if things are moving in my favor, I take profits along the way. If I get and it depends on how the week's going, right? If I had a big-ass move, like a huge move, and it was a big play, I might just be done for the day because it's situational for me. I know for me, I'm good with that. I know for me, if it keeps running, whatever, because I may have obligations going on the rest of the day. I don't want to stare at the charts the rest of the day, and that's just my preference. If people who can afford to focus, though, I do recommend you grind out as much as you can. And so the next step to that is saying, okay, well, then where do I trim? And the easiest way to do that is to mark key levels, right? And this is something I need to teach you guys over time because it's not that straightforward. But let's say something keeps moving up. Let's say we're in SPY right here, right? Let's say we caught this bottom, right? Saw the consolidation off pre-market low. Let's say we caught this bottom, we grab some calls here. So one thing I'm going to teach you in the Discord and over time is how to read structure, how to read the candles. Because once you know how to read the candles, you're set. You don't need all these indicators and all that. The indicators can help though, so I won't dog them. But as I'm looking at this thing, I might go, hey, well, maybe I want to take profits there. I know this is a key level, right? Intraday. I know this is a key level within the price area that I'm watching. The reason is because this is a big resistance level. Look how many times price rejected here or touched it, right? Struggled. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 touches there. So you do know that there is some significance in that area. So that may be one area I decide to trim next. Another area is we have this fair value gap here. And if you don't know what that is, it's part of also what I'll teach you. So I may trim some more within this fair value gap, probably at the halfway point's usually a good spot, and then maybe the top. And then lastly, I may look to trim up here and call it a day, and I might come just below that just to cheat a little bit because sometimes you want to cheat a little bit below that level because sometimes, at least in my experience, like I said, I've been burned a lot. And in my experience, I've set price targets let's say in this example, I've had price targets like right at the top of that, and price will just barely get there and then completely sell off after that. It's like, what the fuck? So it doesn't hurt to cheat down a little bit, right? And then same thing here, right? Maybe I'll cheat this down a little bit, and then I'll color code them, and I'm on my way. There's other ways we can do this too. We can also utilize indicators. There's a couple ways to do it. There really is. And I will teach you those. But that's one way I like to do it is I like to trim. I like to trim as I go. And it's circumstantial based on how big the move was and how my day is looking from a personal perspective. Okay. So if I get a big ass move and I'm up 120% 5 minutes into the day, I'm done. Shit, keep going. You can go to 300%. I don't care. I doubled my money in 5 minutes. I'm good, boy. So that's the problem with people too. And we'll get to that on another stream is the over trading. Right? A lot of people over trade because they win big and they're like, oh, let's keep going. I want to make some more. I'm addicted. Yeah. It's something different than hitting the casino. All right. So I'm a very one and done guy when it comes to stock trading. I really am. That is how I found consistency personally, and it just works for me. Okay. Now, if I have hyper focus and I'm cruising on the day and I'm sitting really good on my position, you know, we may get up to here. Boom, hit that level. I'll take half off the table, or I might take 70% off the table. Then I let the rest of them run. Those are called runners, and then I'll take the rest out right there, and I'm done for the day. All right, so those are some examples. That's all I can really show you in the amount of time it'll take me to thoroughly explain that, but that's how I take profits. I either, you know, if we're winning big and we're winning early, I take it, I'm done. If I have time to afford to watch the charts, dedicate focus, and I want to extend my winners beyond belief, we're going to try to do that. We're going to do that by utilizing key levels. We're going to utilize some indicators we like to use in the group. And we're going to do those sorts of things that help us kind of stay in the trade, because that's the hard part, right? Is staying in the trade. It's easy for me to draw lines on here and just be like, okay, wait for price to get up there. But when you're doing this in real time, it's extremely difficult to execute upon. And that's where the psychology all comes back to that. And so we have tools and methods that help us, you know, hold on to these trades longer. You got on the DraftKings? You know about DraftKings, boy. Shit. Yeah, it's a good time to be looking at DraftKings. You know, this is a seasonal mid-cap. Yeah, this is a mid-cap. This is a seasonal stock. And what it does is typically around like football season, it's flying, especially near the Super Bowl. And so we're getting near the Super Bowl, and you can see it's almost breaking out right now. It looks great. Look at that gap. Bull flag. Shit, boy. That shit looks good. That shit looks awesome. You got in calls too? Yeah, that looks great. You just have to be careful because it is a little extended right now. But I mean, it looks great. I you know, continuation. This is a good looking play. I mean, that's all I gotta say. Just keep it simple. Good looking play. Very bullish. That's a good find, my brother. Yeah, it's a mid cap though, so the cons are a little bit trickier with these mid caps. They're usually lacking liquidity when it comes to the options contracts. So that's one thing you want to be cognizant of. But beyond that, I mean, I think it looks fair. It's a fair game. Nice play. How do we extend or gains or know when it's best time to sell? Yeah, hopefully that helped. How do I have done it for Meta? Key levels, brother. Look at prior day's high, previous day's high, right? I taught you guys in the past few live streams, right, to mark previous day's high and previous day's low. I told y'all to get into that habit. So that's all you have to do. Is mark previous day's high and previous day's low. And we come in here and look where it went, boy. That's it. Boom. Right? And then mark the next level. See if it gets to there. You might want to cheat a little bit because it's a wick. So maybe come down to, well, it depends on how far you want to cheat, but maybe like the halfway point. It's a preference. Right? Came up to that even. Boom. That's it. And then part of that too is you culminate it with experience as well of being able to read price action. And that's just something we have to learn day by day in the Discord. I can keep doing price action lessons every night if I have to. It's just you have to get used to reading how candles move, what the candles are telling you, what the candles mean, what market structure is. You have to know that stuff because it helps you stay in trades. It helps you say, hey, this thing does have some smoke left. There's validation cues you can use, such as retracements, right? Let's take a look at Meta here. Let's go back. Right, you culminate all these confluences and it helps develop you as a trader over time. If we look at Meta here and we look at this relative range that it's trading in, look at Meta. I explained the other week as well how to use Fibonacci's. I explained watching the midway point between a range of a stock. I made a video on this. Watch that 50 on the fib. It is a critical area. So price pushed up. Then what? It retraced. When it retraces, this is where you really want to pay attention to it, especially if you had a nice explosive move, because usually this is just a cool down. Not always, but there's things you can look for that imply that it's a potential just cool down, such as volume. One, look at the volume. This volume is not only dog shit, but it's actually decreasing as it's pushing down. This tells me that this is pushing down and it's losing steam as it's pushing down, which means there's no strength to this. There's no strength to this push down. On top of that, it is in the vicinity of the halfway point of the retracement. This is a probable area where price likes to bounce and give way, right? Boom. What do you know? Buyers coming out of nowhere, overtaking volume, bullish engulfing candle against the 50 line. And then all we got to break next is high a day, which is right there. And we're on our way, baby. Peace. Shit's off the screen, son. So it's easier said than done. I understand that, especially in real time. But as you look at the charts more and as we teach you things day by day, these are skills you will learn to develop. And you'll just start gliding with the wind, baby. I thought trading during lunch is not a good idea, but SPY play went, yeah. It depends. You know, that was probably a catalyst. I believe it was. I think there was a Fed speaker. Let me check for you real quick. This is driving me nuts because I can't remember what came out. There might have been economic data that came out or something. I thought it was just a Fed speaker because we had jobless claims this morning. And, you know, that settled in the pre-market. Oh, it was the bond auction. I fucking knew it. We talked about this last night. Yeah, the 20-year bond auction. Am I still here with you guys? Oh, shit. Hopefully I'm still here. Can you guys hear me? Let's see. Yeah, we're still live. Okay. So the 20-year bond auction came out. We talked about how these bond auctions have been greatly impacting the markets lately. I'm just going to blow my face here because I've just been talking anyways. But yeah, it's the 20-year bond auction that came out intraday. I'm pretty sure that's what it was, because that came out right at noon, I believe. Right, noon Eastern. Yeah, so 11. So 11 for me, I'm Central. So that's what it was. And then in terms of the flip that it had, I mean, that was probably just something structurally. I haven't analyzed it enough, but that was an interesting move. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm done trading in the first 2 hours of the day. I mean, every day. That's just how I trade. I'm done like first 2 hours. I get my bread and I'm out, son. Peace. That's how I do it. Even today. But this rally, yeah, I don't know. We can try to dissect it here a little bit. Right around that 50. Golden pocket retracement. It's probably a fair value gap. That 15 minutes super nice. And that formed in the pre-market. Look at that. Look at that 212 on the 15-minute sign. Come on, dog. Shit. That shit looks clean. I'm not saying that's why, but that is a damn good entry right there. Holy smokes. Look at that. Beat my own ass. Oh, you can't see him? Oh, my Lord. Oh, yeah, because I thought I'd be preaching some more. Look at that. So we had this 15-minute fair value gap, and then you had this 212 setup. So when you see these setups like this, all you got to do is wait till the candle breaks that level, and then you just buy, and then boom, done. Shit, that's a nice play. And these fair value gaps, you don't ignore them if they're in the pre-market. You certainly don't. Especially today. And today we had a lot of rallying leading up to the jobless claims report that we talked about. And it's funny because looks like good news is bad news, because the jobless claims report, it came in, I think the market was anticipating 220,000 reports or 220,000 claims, and reported like 187,000, which is well below. I mean, that is some of the lowest numbers we've seen in decades. And so the market just dumped right after that report. And then market open was kind of volatile. You had the bond auction, which created displacement. You had the sell-off, and then it found its bottom. And then this rally was just, I don't know, fucking God mode right there. I don't know what that shit was about. Chris, you call me ugly, son? Nah, I'm ugly. It's cool, though. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to look good with the stock profits. All right. Well, Darius, hopefully I didn't catch a body tonight. Hope you're doing okay after that war speech. Christoph, good to meet you. Love the Polish name, Chris. I'm glad the streams are helping you out, brother. I'm glad you're taking notes. You're going to be making money one day. And if you're not already, you're going to be making more. Everybody else, see you. Sergio, Allen, I don't know who the rest is in here. I can't see. I do appreciate you tonight. Hopefully, if you're new, or if you're not in the Discord already, hopefully this entices you to think about joining again. We do have a free option. I understand it, guys. It's money. I get it. You got to think twice about it. You got to go ask the wife. The wife's probably going to say no, and you got to say fuck out of here anyways because it's my money. So preview Discord's there for you. You can at least dabble with the group. You can plug in. Again, I'm going to give you guys a free daily stock and crypto watch list with in-depth synopsis, and you're going to have price targets for both the upside and the downside. Not a bad gig for a free Discord. Come on, son. Nobody else is doing that shit. And you get access to the free trading chat where you can chat with your boy himself. I'm in there, right? Just know that the answers I may give you and stuff like that, they may be watered down, but that's only fair to those who are paying, okay? Plain and simple. Same with these live streams. These live streams are pretty, I mean, I went pretty in tonight, but they are pretty watered down, to be honest. I mean, if it was a normal live stream, like, we're going to sit here for 3 hours if we have to until we can figure out, the strategy, explain all that other shit. And if we run out of time, then we'll make sure we get it, within however long it takes us, right? We're going to have more dedicated, focused learning sessions, but hopefully you got a little bit of a dabble and, this is satisfactory for you. So do me a favor, again, before we leave here, if you haven't already, go ahead and follow the ProfitLink.co handle here on Instagram. This is where you get to see your boy interview some people in the street. You get to stare at my face from 2 inches off your screen every single day. And you get stock trading tips as well to you daily. And if you want to take your journey a step further, go ahead and check out that Watt page. Invest in yourself. I love it. All right, y'all. Well, hopefully this was useful to you. I'm excited to see you in next week's public free live stream coming to you Thursday. Other than that, y'all.